All right, guys, you know how it goes. The missus, she needs about 10.
Let's go over there.
She needs about 10. All right, guys, you know how it goes. The missus, she needs about 10.
Hey, sure, she got on the ride.
All right, that's good, that's good.
Not yet.
He said, not yet. We can waiting for that magic number, that number 10. All right. But I don't know how long we're gonna wait for that magic number.
They come and they trying to get themselves settled down.
Okay, all right. Settle down, it's starting that day.
They just finished eating. They trying to get themselves settled in. Yeah, 9.
We're at 9, okay, you're almost there.
Sister Cheryl, can you hear us well?
All right, we at the magic number. The magic number.
Let me see if she can hear us. Let me know if you can hear us. Yes, just fine. Okay, good.
Okay. Hey, family, greetings, peace, and blessings. We are the Muhammads, the residential tourists, 85 to Africa. We are living in the after right here in the beautiful Mombasa, Kenya. And it is a joy, as always, to be able to come before you and spend however long we're going to spend. You never know, because we have such a good time together. Time just kind of passes us by, but we thank you so very much for you taking the time to join us on this live here this evening here for us, afternoon, maybe morning for you guys in the States. Okay. We want to always acknowledge our subscribers. Thank you so very much for your subscription and your viewership and your support. Greatly appreciate that. As well as our new subscribers. Thank you for your joining the RT family. We are grateful to have you, and we are constantly growing and developing and all of that good stuff there. So right along with us, right along with us. And we also want to give thanks to our members. We have a new member, Bruce. We're going to acknowledge you. We're going to show you to everyone in a moment. But thank you for your membership. I believe it was today that he joined. Thank you for your viewership. We greatly appreciate it. All right, so.
So, we're going to do a recap real quick on last week, and particularly last week's live. How did you guys feel about that live? And
we know how they feel. They put all the comments.
The one thing that I picked up from the live was many people just don't appreciate a person's journey, which is weird because it's their walk, it's their experience, it's what they've been through, it's how they handle what they've been through, and it's not always going to be peaches and cream. And even though we're here on, if it was reversed and they were YouTubers from Africa and they're in the US, do you really think they're going to be talking about how great the US is all day, every day? They're going to tell you about, well, hopefully, if they're being honest, they're going to tell you about whatever it is that they done went through. And so that's what we're doing here. We're not trying to knock anything about Africa.
No, not at all.
No, we live in Africa. This is our home right now. So why would we be trying to tear it down?
We're not trying to, have to walk around watching our back. We don't want to do that.
No, but we want to lift up the continent. We see the future is Africa. We see so much promise here. We see so much development here. And truthfully, it's love. It's love here.
All love.
So when people come on and they're sharing their stories, we should take that with like a notebook and paper. Like how can we improve the situation for the next people? Because most likely whatever they're saying, it was their reality. And I'm sure it's not just their reality. And so that's the opportunity for us as a community to grow. And bridging the gap between Black Americans or those in the diaspora and Africans from the continent. It's bridging the gap. We love the conversation. We love bringing it to so that we can both see the positives and negatives of both sides.
Very necessary. Very, very necessary. Yes, as our sister Cheryl said, please don't forget that thumbs up. So please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Thank you so very much. It's good to see you as well, Sister Cheryl. Even though we don't see you physically, but we know we feel your presence.
But can we try something else too, though? Not just the thumbs up. Share it. If everybody will share it right now for us, it'll get more people on this. What we're talking about today is going to be deep. It's going to be deep. It's going to be heavy. And a lot of us that are on a spiritual journey with coming to Africa would need to hear this.
Again, as Sister Cheryl said, she said, I need to hear the truth.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere it says, the truth shall set you free. That's what I read.
Well, we all, that's our goal, right? We want to be free. So we need to be free to make wise decisions, free to choose where we want to be, where we want to go to live out our freedom. So we need to have clarity. We need to have everything open. Everything open. That's unfortunately, we didn't all get that.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Everybody didn't get that.
For sure.
For sure. So today.
Hold on now.
Oh, okay.
We're not finished with the recap.
Oh, the recap. Okay.
We're excited about what our featured guest, just like last week, we're excited about this featured guest. So we're not going to, hold you too much, but we always have to do the recap because we get a lot of good information from our comments. And we get some that are, like, hey. So we really need to do the recap. So I did we did a short and presented the short, and the title of it was Not Seen as African Now. Just a real short title and great comments, getting quite a bit of views, more than we anticipated, to be quite honest with you. And
we made 20 cents off that video.
Oh, woo! 20 cents.
In counting.
In counting. However, I wanted to just touch real quickly on that. In my comment, question was presented to me by my lovely wife as to what was something that was a bit of I'll put it in these words, a surprise or a shock that I wasn't expecting. And it was just what I said. I didn't really know either way, how we would be received. And to be quite frank, it didn't matter. And I'm not saying that in a negative sense. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, just to give some clarity, I'm very, very much, and we're very, very much proud to be Black.
Hey, Deborah Randolph is on today.
Sister Deborah, we appreciate you, sis. Definitely love being Black from America. I really wouldn't exchange it for nothing in the world. You understand? But from our vantage point, when we look at our African brothers and sisters, we don't see them different from just being Black. We all Black. We all from the same origin, even though our cultural differences are just that. They're just cultural differences. But once upon a time, we shared somewhere down the line the same culture, but we were removed. You know the story. And if not, we're going to make sure, you understand the history of Black people from America, and as we are making our sojourn back. Nonetheless, I'm very much proud and happy to be a Black man from America. I don't appreciate, how we're dealt with in America. Nonetheless, the strides that we made, the accomplishments that we have, made and gained, all of the breakthroughs, man, we are tough people, man. We are tough people, and there's a lot about us as Black people that the world knows, but there's a lot that the world does not know. You understand? And so it's just it hit a nerve because I want my African brothers and sisters to know us for us, as we striving to know our African brothers and sisters for them, what they are. We're not trying to change we're not trying to change them to be American or nothing like that at all. We just want to get to know one another. So that's what that was. But I'm glad it was well received, and we don't see each other as different, from our African brothers and sisters. We just have a different life experience and a different journey. So that's all that is for that. So
Sister Melanie is on.
Sister Melanie, good to see you, sis. Sister Deborah, Sister Melanie, we appreciate you all for joining in.
And the beauty behind it is we actually know these people.
And that's the beauty, right?
Yeah, so we feel really loved right now.
For sure. Absolutely. One last recap. We found some good property. For those of you who are looking to come and move here, I'm gonna tell you, our first dig, our first find, y'all kind of hurt our feelings. Because we thought we found something good.
Bougie friends, though. The bougie Americans, y'all was liking those apartments.
Yeah,
y'all was like 2,500. I paid 3,000 for 2.
Right, but y'all, they didn't speak up. They didn't speak up loud enough because they got drowned out. So we said, all right, bet, no worries. We're gonna make sure we find those nice properties that are, just as well, but not too hard on the pockets. And so we found, we showed that we have some more yet to show.
Yeah, we got some more coming.
Yeah, so.
And actually the ones that we're going to show this week, we already got diasporans living there. And we got more coming in a couple weeks. So listen, the relocation services, we're for real. And you guys are coming, even if it's just for a visit, 2 weeks or a month or whatever. We got short-term stay, long-term stay, and we may even have something in our sleeve, but you have to be a member for us to tell you about that. We'll let the members know about the secret stash. But we got some good things going, but I'm excited about right now.
Hold on real quick. Let me
Hey, Deborah said she's coming this summer.
All right, Sister Deborah. Yeah, bring your family. We miss our nieces and nephew. We miss them, so bring them as well. So real quickly, just to jump back, because I saw the comment from my beloved sister Cheryl as to how we're perceived, and we talked about this before. But I wanted to say something with regards to that because of the perception that that's out there, and this is not even just one particular country. We've heard it from many different people. As far as they look at us from America, they think we have a lot of money. Far from the truth. We can tell you some stories, but we're not gonna go there.
It's us.
Yeah, talking about us. But I want to say this though. I want to say that because I had to change my perspective or my perception, I should say, a little bit as it relates to that. And okay, cool. If you look at America as being this place where there's a lot of money, right? And as we said last week, as Black people in America, we collectively, we have a big buying power, a big 1.6 trillion, if you will, consumership, right? The thing is, we have to now change that perception. I'm sorry, not perception, change that trajectory and begin to produce and manufacture and so forth and so on. However, what I really want to say is this. America, if it has the dollars and the riches and the wealth that is perceived for those outside of America, this is what needs to be made known. The streets of America, the building, all of that stuff, the layout of America is that way because of the Black man and woman, because of our blood, our sweat that built the country. Although we didn't reap the benefits of it, but we built it, okay? And it's important, I think, to know that to our African brothers and sisters because, again, we have a skill set, we have an experience, we have an expertise, if you will, that if we could do for them for free, if you were to welcome us by seeing us how we are and who we are, without a doubt, we'll come and we'll dig deep in the earth to help build Africa as to where it is already is and trying to go.
Let me just say why.
Sure, please.
Maybe I get to our guest.
Yeah.
I said the guest is she's having many words with this guy.
I know. They call me a chatterbox. I don't really talk a lot, but when I get a chance to talk, I'll
see
talk.
the brothers will tell you the brother talks a lot, doesn't he? He don't have a lot to speak. But the reason being is we know how to figure some stuff out. The way that the U.S. treat us, we've had to figure out the system, how to work around the system, work in the system, under the system. We had to figure out how to tweak some stuff, how to build entrepreneurs, Black American entrepreneurs. We're not just basic entrepreneurs. No, we had to figure out how to make some things happen because we didn't have the credit or we didn't have the finances. So we had to figure out how to make some things happen. I wish I could go more into that, but imagine taking that kind of mindset here where we don't see obstacles. The Black Americans, we don't see obstacles. We don't see roadblocks. We see, okay, let's figure it out. We can't do what? Okay, so how can we make this work? How can we figure it out? That's the kind of minds that we have, that we're bringing with us, right, on top of whatever financial power that they might have. I say they because we don't have it, but other Black Americans do, whatever retirement that they have, skill sets, all kinds of stuff. But we have the know-how to make things happen. And we have a general love for our people. So that's why we keep saying, if y'all would just welcome us, like for real, we'd run the world, man. We'd run the world. So let's talk about this guest.
Yes, let's get to it.
Goodness. I had to do it real fast and chop them up, but not. So the guest is important because a lot of people wake up with a very important message. They will have a feeling. God had talked to you. God is leading you in a certain way. You have a spiritual connection to not just leaving America. And everybody's not running from America. Everybody's not leaving because they're trying to run and save their life. Some people actually leave because they feel like it's a calling that God had told them that this is what they're supposed to do. And for the reason, whatever reason that may be, you might not know yet. All you know is you heard the call and you're following the instruction. And so the sister today is one of those people. She's actually a good friend of ours. She's became a very close friend of mine, actually. The sister has a spiritual gift. She also has a YouTube channel, and we're going to make sure you guys have all that information today where she shares her gift with you. And I feel very blessed that she has crossed our paths in this journey.
Absolutely.
In this journey.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, we're going to share a little something with you.
Yes. And we'll bring her right on. And
Not the intro. I love that. I love that. I'm trying not to laugh so I won't cough. I love that. That is great.
I did the journey from, I should have started in the US because I was on your Facebook stealing your pictures, but I should have started it from the US to Rwanda, from Rwanda to South Africa. And I forgot that one part, but we can sure fill everybody in. So everyone, we want you to meet Sister Natasha.
Natasha Muhammad.
Yeah, she
How you
comes
doing,
all the way
everybody?
from, you can't hear
Georgia.
them, but they're like, Natasha.
My mic sound nice. Pick one, right?
Natasha's a secret DJ, so at any moment she'll start singing, scratching. You just will never know. You'll never know.
That's funny.
But Natasha, give us a little history. Like, I know you're from South Jersey or South Carolina.
Let her
She's
tell
like,
it.
where you from?
You
I'm
know,
originally from the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, the Bull City. And I moved to Georgia in 2000. So I moved to Decatur, where it's greater, in 2000 and stayed until 2013 and then moved to Newark. And all of that is still part of the journey where I was guided to Newark, New Jersey. And I actually called it right after I had Amir in 95. I looked at Newark. Went to Boston for something, and I looked at Newark, and I was like, I'm going to live there one day. That was 95. And so moving to 2013, I did move to Newark. And then I moved from Newark to Jersey City, and then from Jersey City to Kigali, Rwanda, and then the rest, Rwanda to South Africa. So, God guides you through so many journey and so many pit stops.
So I want to say, we were on YouTube. Now, Natasha knew us before YouTube. I'm kind of old, so I couldn't place her, but she's seen us on YouTube.
And one of the ways was Brother Lamont, and it was so crazy. So Brother Lamont's daughter, I knew his daughter is Maya, a beautiful soul. And when she passed away, I was asked to create her website, Izzy's Promise. And so I used a lot of the photographs. And I used a lot of the photographs that Brother Lamont took during her journey. So he should, when you have a parent that loses a child and is able to still smile and embrace everything and see each day as a new beginning, you all need to hear that story from a father, because a lot of times we hear it from the mother, but the father that goes through that and loved his child through all of that, took the most stunning photography as she was going through her illness. And then that it was so beautiful. And so you all need to ask him to speak about that, because there's a lot of parents that go through that and fathers who don't have a voice. And he can give voice to that pain from a father's standpoint. And so, and then to that blessing that comes where she's there on the ancestral realm, like clearing pathways for her father to continue in her name and in her honor to give birth to Ismaiahs all over the world. So he needs to speak that story and breathe life, because as he speaks her name, she continues to live on and on, even in Africa. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Wow, thank you for that. Thank you, sister. You're gonna have me crying in front of these folk, man. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so very much. Man, you blessed me with that. I really appreciate that. Really, really do. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, she gonna took my word.
But so here's the thing though. This is indicative of what it is my wife was saying as she was introducing our beloved sister. Don't take, this is from our vantage point, but we share with you, to take her and her words with lightly, because this sister's really, I wasn't expecting this, but this, the spirit hit, she rolls with it. She don't fight it. She don't, she just lets it roll and she's obedient to it. And it's always very timely. It's always very timely, because sister, you just don't know how much I've been thinking about my daughter lately. And for you to say that, it's just right on time, sis. Right on time. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I don't even know where to go from here.
Thank God. While you all were talking, I was just praying to God to speak through me, not to speak through me through this video.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, we never even thought about sharing that.
No, we're going to have to now. We're going to have to.
For the born in.
All right, so we're kind of,
So what happened was we were doing the live, we were doing the video, and we were talking about the situation we were in at that moment in Rhonda. And I woke up to a message from the sister, and she was like, I'm sure I'm shortening it. You probably could tell it better. This is my medicine, y'all. Y'all just gotta forgive me. But she was like, God told me to help you, and I'm going to help you. And on Friday, I'm going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, we'll come up and said, read this message. Do you see this? What? And then come Friday, she did exactly what she said she was going to do. And then she shared that she feels that God is telling her that she's supposed to move to Kigali, to Rwanda. And so could you elaborate a little bit more on how we got to that point and why you felt like you should leave at that point, leave the U.S., because you never came because you were running, you were leaving, you needed to get away because you love your job, you have a beautiful family there. You came because you felt that God said it's time for you to go there.
It's time to go.
So please share that journey.
So I remember when you posted, when you all went to, first you went to Tanzania, I'm back in America right now. So Tanzania, I'm back in Georgia at that, but, and you put up a post. I think you were in Rwanda at the time. I'm not sure, but it was your first time going. And you put up a post on Facebook and you said, why would you live in America? Why wouldn't you live here with people that look like you? It was something like that. And I was all big and bold and said, because it's home and we should fight for home. And it was at that moment that because I took such a strong stand, God gave me a strong command, right? And so it was more of, I had the dream when, I think it was when Queen Elizabeth's husband passed away. It was that day, Prince Philip. And I had a dream that night that I was in a place, and it actually turned out to be part of Rwanda that I've never seen it before. Nothing like that. And I saw myself there, and there was a plane that appeared. And so there was a building with a bunch of computers in it, and a plane appeared, and the voice said, fly the plane. And I said, I can't fly. And so then a pilot appeared, and then I started flying over from what's later Bugesera to Kigali. And I started seeing exact neighborhoods. And so you all did a video, and then finally I made it to Kigali, and then the plane turned over and I had the power to not allow it to crash. And then I woke up. So you all did a video maybe a couple of weeks later doing the journey in the opposite, but those exact same neighborhoods. And I took that as a word that I was supposed to, as confirmation, because I knew, you know, a lot of times we act in disobedience when we're given a command or shown a sign. And because I just knew I was going to buy this property in Jersey City. I already put it up on my vision board and everything. And I was told, change your vision board. And I heard it so many times. I had to move my car from one side to the other. And Steve Harvey was like, is your vision the vision of yourself or the vision of God? And I was like, yeah, I need to change my vision board. But as soon as I got in the house, I was like, anyway. So that let me know I needed to adjust my thinking and open up. And I just surrendered and said, I'll do it. And I publicly announced it. So once you put it out there in public, you got to go ahead and do it. That's and right. I know me. So I publicly announced it, and everything started working out. Because whenever you say that you're going to do something and the creator moves you, the adversary pops up. Because you're always going to have an adversary. It's like when God created man, and then one of the angels, Lucifer, said he wasn't going to bow down. He became the adversary. So when you are rising up, the adversary is going to show their face as well. And so different things in opposition came, and I had to go past it and know that the God was going to carry me through. In every obstacle, even with work. Now, my contract was so that I could work anywhere in the world. Everything was predestined, and I didn't know why. And so I had renegotiated my employment contract. Anytime you sign an offer for a company, you're creating a contract. So I renegotiated to work remote full time. Didn't know why. Just because I just didn't feel like driving down to Central Jersey. But it allowed me room to work anywhere in the world. And even when it popped up, at the time, the CEO was my mentor. And so he said, I just want you to be safe. So people were put in place that even when opposition pops up, God allowed me to see into it and go, okay, let me keep moving. I said, well, it's my destiny. It's what I'm supposed to do. And so I just moved in that, and then the way was made. But that doesn't mean I didn't receive opposition, conflict, have doubt come in, but it's all about overcoming it. So anyway, I'm not going to keep talking, but that was it.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, I think that's very important because there's so many, I'm sure, who have the notion or who are moved by the Spirit to leave America, to come to Africa or whoever. It doesn't even have to be Africa. And because, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, because you're leaving something that you know, even in all of the challenges, it's like, okay, I know it though. You go into the unknown, and so many hit that right there, and they
stop.
Move past it. They stop.
And what's unique about her is she has young adult children, children who are in college, and just became a grandmother.
Yeah.
And so it was so strong when you were like, I got to do what the God told me to do, even though I know it had to be really, really hard for you to leave your family.
Oh, it was terrible. Leaving my babies, and then 2 came with me, and then Amir stayed here because he had a family. And then right before I left, he got married. So I had to, I was the minister of his wedding down here in Georgia. And then I had my granddaughter. And so leaving behind, being a mom is my greatest gift and greatest joy. And so it doesn't stop me from being a mother, but leaving my children, my child and my grandchildren in a different continent. Oh, it was hard. And then bringing the girls back to school because they came with me. Then I had to fly back so that they could continue to go to college. And I was just there by myself. Oh, I cried because leaving them was essentially hard. But that's part of the journey as well, because my journey to Rhonda was my journey to me. And so you have to go into that lonely place, or that place of being alone, so that you can deal with you, which is the first adversary is yourself, and deal with self first. And that's why I was guided to Rhonda, to deal with self and then deal with everything that I put up external, that I tried to make outside of me, but it was really part of me. What did we learn? The devil was created from the recessive gene of the original man. So which means it's something that's inside of you that's made external and visible. So you got to deal with that. So I had to deal with all of that about me while in Rhonda. So it was very much a healing journey for me. It was like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, going into the mountain and getting the word. But he had to go alone, or Jesus going out in the wilderness before he goes out. He had to face the adversary while he was in that wilderness. And so that's what I had to do, but find the adversary in self. And there, it pops out externally as well.
Wow, that's deep. I like to go deep, sis.
I know you do. Minister Lamont. I keep telling him he's a minister. He keep trying to fight that, but it's in him.
I ain't holy enough. I ain't righteous enough.
Me either.
So Natasha was our very first customer or client for Adilah's Relocation Services. And because I knew that she was going to be pretty much solo, taking this journey by herself, even though her girls came for a little while and then had to go back, we wanted to make sure that she felt at home, or she wasn't just coming from an airport to a B&B or a hotel, that she was coming to home. And that's one of the things that most of us, that's what we want to feel when we come. We want to feel like we're going home. How was that for you? Did you actually have that feeling that you're coming to your home, or did you still feel weird, or how was that? How are you received with that?
So there was excitement leading up to it, because you would send all the pictures and I'd be like, look, oh my God, the ancestors are rejoicing, and so I was so excited. I was like, look out there in the garden. I can see my ancestors excited, right? Calling me. And then you get on the plane and it's all good. But then I landed in Uganda because our plane messed up. And so, and that's when I learned the next day, because we had to stay overnight while you all were sending me pictures of eating the food in the house. Talking about welcome home on the steps. And then that's when I learned about you got to pay a little money to get somewhere, because going
your first introduction to Africa.
First introduction to Africa was getting bribed at the airport by the Ugandan police. And that was yeah. The person who was helping us said they want you to pay some money, because they looked at the crystals. They were opening up stuff, and like I had brought some soap things from IKEA, and they were opening it up saying there's something in there. And I was like, there's not. And I opened it to show that there wasn't. And then they were looking at the crystals saying, you can't have that. I was like, okay, well then you take them. And then finally I was told, you just give them some money and they'll be fine. So I gave them some money and we were able to go on through the airport. And then they tried to ask for more. And I was like, you get nothing. Because then that's when the Bull City came out of me, right? And I was like, you get nothing. And so we made it onto the plane and got to Rwanda. And so getting there so late, that's when lesson number 2 came, where people will say that they've done something and they did part of it, but not the whole thing. Hating to say, and I see that a lot with different cultures that I work with, because I'm in IT. So different cultures hate to say that something isn't completed all the way. No means that I'm not good enough. And it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay to say the exact truth. So that's when we thought the Wi-Fi was completed. Remember that? And they told everyone it was, but it wasn't. So we made it there and it was beautiful. And you all came that next morning. So it was the next morning when it was daytime, when you all came to pick us up, that we felt better. And then we got sick. So I think I really felt at home when I came to your house. Remember, I had the fever and I was so sick. And you made that soup for me. And you said, come to the house. And you made soup and I was at your house. And it was like, okay, I have people here. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You let us spend the night, and so that I can recover and then go and get some other things taken care of. And that's when I was like, all right, we're going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. But those first few days were kind of shaky. That's just my life in general, where I can tell the stories and how the original person that we hired to be the chef left after 2 days, didn't show back up. Innocent, who wasn't so innocent. Everybody that's got a name that's real holy and stuff like that usually be the, you know what I'm saying, opposite of their name. I'm innocent, but I'm gonna take your money. And so, but then it opened up for Celine to come. And that's a lesson in that. I was thinking about that a few days ago, and how he had the best presentation, but the underneath, he wasn't honest. While Celine had good food, not the best, most refined presentation, but she was the best for me. So we gotta, just had to adjust that. And Celine is doing well now, going to school, got her passport, but she was the most like one of my nieces. And so she stayed with us. But yeah, so it was after you took care of us the first few days and made sure that you're like, just come on over here. It's fine. I had fallen down the steps, my big behind falling down those steps. because I had a fever. So knowing that you have people there that will look out for you, that will make sure, she scratches my head when I was ill. And, you did that so that I was okay and could come back again and make it through. So it was being at your house that night that made us feel at home and that we could continue and move forward. So thank y'all so much.
Praise be to Allah. I'm gonna tell you, something, you made it. We didn't know that was going to happen, of course. Excuse me. But I think it was all in divine order. Excuse me, in divine order. Because correct me if I'm wrong. I think at in that time, it became a self-realization that we need this for each other as diasporas. Going back to as you started, when you hit that opposition. Now, okay, what happens when I go past it? Okay, it's still got more ways to go. And once I touch down, now what? Who is there to receive me? How will I be accepted, or how will so it became like a self-realization, like, man, this is something that, because we needed, we needed that. We extended ourselves and opened up. That's just natural, family automatically. But it did something for our soul as well. It really, to the point where I think I'm correct in saying this, that my wife wanted to say, hey, you know what? Let's broaden this. Let's make this, because we didn't realize until that happened that how much we needed it, and we saw how effective it was for you all and your family as well. So
yeah, and we actually needed you at that time. We were so grateful that you came at that moment. And when he's speaking about, doing this for each other, doing this for diasporas, doing it for the diasporas, one of the things that you said kind of broke your spirit when you were there. Things started to change for you as far as just even feeling like even being there. Can you talk a little bit about that without talking too much, what I'm saying, without saying names? Okay.
So there are things that, so when I left, we left in July, August of last year. So of 2022, August, to bring the girls back to school. And I stayed here for a month to see my family, spend time with my parents, because my parents, I'm 50, which means my parents are getting, up in age as well. And my dad wasn't doing the best at the time. And, so spending time with everyone before I went back. And then I went back and it was just me. And that's when the real came in, because it wasn't the external stuff anymore, my girls, and we're going to do all that stuff. And it was just me. And so I started dealing with the roots of different things and all of that. And then just finding peace, because I started building oasis in my home. So you saw the pictures that Adilah put up of pictures of the house and making it home and making it a place of peace where no matter what was going on the outside, I could feel okay. But then I started seeing the cracks in the structure. So you see the cracks in the home, and I started seeing the cracks in certain things in the country and certain people. So when you come into a country or when you go anywhere, the who you are is more exposed, because you don't have the layers or the noise from the outside world to cover you. So in America, it's easy to hide. But when you are somewhere else and it's you dealing with you, the more of you comes out. It's like when I was joining a sorority back when I was in college, shout out to Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. But when I was joining the sorority, one of the things that was said was you become more of you once the spotlight is on you. So once you're in the sorority, the real you really comes out. And that's the same thing that happens, because people will show more of themselves and more of their insecurities will come out in different ways that can become malignant. And I started seeing some of the malignancies. and it started causing my heart to break. Like I would literally cry. I would be there crying in the house. And um it just hurt because my mind thought that this was a beautiful kumbaya unity in the community, and then I saw it wasn't, which is, true everywhere you go. But when we are in a place that's not a land of our own and we're coming in to create paradise, and then we are some of the ones that come in and become the disruptors, it hurts so bad. Like I was bawling. I started therapy, and I would call one of my, I would cry during therapy. You can do therapy online, because it was so heartbreaking. But then some of the things that I saw, but that's fine. It is what it is. That's how you deal with those things, right? Then I saw where there were some things, like I told about the one person who worked for me that didn't work immediately, but I saw certain things that were happening. I think Will talked about it last week and people came for his head about it. That's why you don't read the comments. It's like people are going to feel how they feel, but your truth is the truth.
Well, he just said hello to you, but you're not going to read that.
Yeah. I won't read them. So I started seeing where there's you are seen as a way for people's comeuppance. And I don't mind being, so I would visit places and try to be loyal patrons, a loyal patron. As you can see, even coming back here for the short time that I'm going to be here in America, I bought 8 plants because I love plants. And so I would go to the same place in Kigali and buy plants. And this person, they started coming up on price on me. And I said, no, I come here every other week. You should keep it. That it wasn't this isn't the price. What she said yesterday's prices aren't today's, basically, is what she said. And so I just walked my happy behind across the street. And so but that continues to happen, or people will, there have been times where someone, when they say that there's no crime, I'm like, and that was a lie, because someone sold to me a hot cable extender, and saying that they were they were a representative of the company, and said I had to pay for the extender, not knowing I didn't have to pay. In America, you have to pay. Well, they sold it to me, and then we found out that it was hot, right? And so, or stolen. I will use the non-street terms. It was stolen. So that one really got me, because I gave this person a great review, because I had gotten the name of the review. I was like, he was really fantastic. He cleaned up. He did all of that. Like, I try to give people their props. And so that happened. And then things just started happening over and over. And so, but that showed me in certain ways, then I started not trusting people. So once you stop becoming who you are, then it's time to go. And that let me know, okay, it's time to push on and go somewhere. I was like, if somebody's going to take advantage of me, at least I can get it with a Dr. Pepper, right? And so that was he gave me a Dr. Pepper at the same time. So I was becoming less of who I truly am on the inside, because I stopped being able to trust. And once that starts happening, it's like you can't be in that environment anymore.
And I noticed for you, and I just thought you just like to work a lot, but you weren't coming outside. You stayed inside every day. What? Tell me a little bit more about why that was. Like, how were you feeling?
Because my home was peace. In the home was peace. And when I stepped outside of the home, it would I would go for things that I needed. I would go, we would go get our hair done, all of those things, to the spa and stuff like that. But Rhonda stopped being peace for me. Outside of my home, I couldn't feel comfortable. And that was done on purpose, because I wasn't supposed to try to make it be home. It was a way station. You know how in the Bible, when Moses led Israel out of Egypt in the story in the Bible, when he led the
Right.
people out, they weren't supposed to stay in the land where they were. They were supposed to move on. But they were
Right.
there to receive. Moses was receiving instruction, and they
Right.
were supposed to receive instruction as well. But if
Right.
they tried to make it their own, and that's where they messed up. It's there for you to receive instruction, to kind of decompress from everything that happened before, and then you can move on. And that's what it was supposed to be. Looking back, that's how it was supposed to be for me and Rhonda. It's where I was supposed to go to receive instruction, also to help those that I could help, because it was mutually beneficial, and getting those experiences, then moving on to the next station on the train that's called my journey. But it's trying to cement your place and being so stubborn that things become worse and worse and worse. It's like being in a relationship, and when the relationship no longer serves either one of you, it's actually tearing you down. But you're like, I'm gonna stay in it because that's my man, and I'm gonna do all this, and then you stay grounded in it, like, I'm not gonna leave. Nobody gonna say you were right. You know what I mean? And you stay grounded, trying to prove something to someone else. But when the God says go, you're supposed to go. Where the God says stay away from, you're supposed to stay away from. And so
Right.
it was time for me to go, so that I can look back on Rhonda as a place for healing, as a place for peace, and not look on it as a place that is where more of the pain was happening. And I don't want to look at Rhonda in that way. I want to look at it for its beauty, its majesty. Look at the experiences that I had with some of the people there, the people that I still stay in contact with, and look at it that way. A place that is going through a healing of its own, and it's a healing of a
Right.
different kind, because
Right.
the tension and the things that happened in Rhonda was an enemy of self. It's like when you and your brother in the same family, it's like the right hand being at war with the left hand. How does the body heal from that? And so that's what Rhonda is going through, went through, and will continue to heal through over time. So yeah, it was time for me to gain those experiences and then move on.
So was there something that happened that woke you up one day and you were just like, okay, I see, I gotta
It,
go.
it was the thing with the when I found out that he sold me the hot that was the breaking point.
That was the breaking.
Brother Will
That was
laughing because you said hot. He said he ain't heard that word in a long time.
I'm old school. But when it was that was the breaking point. It was little things leading up to that, you know, um just seen as being seen as a way to come up. And that's not something, it's not anyone doing it nefariously. It's like I'm trying to survive. It's that there's that one part of the brain that's just built on survival, and everything is led by that survival. What do we call that? A zombie. But everything is all about survival, and I can get it because poverty, being in a state of poverty, where a lot of people are in the poverty mindset and starvation mindset, and their physical environment displays that. Then when you see someone with some money, you're like, I need a piece of that in order to move up. And it doesn't matter. It's not anything against Natasha. It's anything against my living situation that I'm in right now. I want to move from this. And so it took me a while to realize that like, it's not, I don't have a target on my back. It's all of us that have a little bit of money, because I worked hard. I worked from 12 p.m. to midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes. So I worked hard for the money. She works hard for the money. Exactly. And so, and some days it was 6 days a week. So you better treat her right. So, but I would give from my heart. When God tells me to give, when I want to hold on to the money, God says do it. I do it. Because if I try to hold on to it, it's going to bleed from me anyway in the form of some crazy bill that comes up for whatever reason. So give it in the way that it can be useful to someone. But once I give it, then it was to constantly come back. And I was like, no. God didn't tell me to keep giving. It was like, give that one time so that you can get through, and to help you to learn how to do for yourself. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back, was finding out about that. And you're like, that's so small, but it was a buildup.
No,
It's a buildup.
It was
It's
a
a build.
buildup.
It's a buildup. I can attest to and relate to. I think right not too long before we left, I began to find myself just staying in. I didn't want to go out at all.
we go out the house.
Didn't want to go out of the house. I'm the type of individual that
I didn't even want to go to the store.
no, and I've always led with, if I have no other if I meet you, I don't know you, I'm getting to know you, I have no reason not to trust you, right? I might be naive on my part, but I've always been that way. So I always lead with trust. Whereas most people, you gotta hold on now, you gotta build up to that trust. But I'm kind of like in the reverse mode. But over a certain amount of time while I was there, it began to change, rapidly. Like I didn't trust nobody. I didn't trust anyone, and I'm like what you said, I didn't want to think and feel or see it that way.
Right.
I did not, and I think, what helped us was, well, yeah, definitely you for sure, talking with you.
Oh, thank you.
But I think that the way things, without going into detail, things came about in our lives, within our family, and the response to it allowed for us to be able to leave with the perception of Rhonda still intact, the good perception of it. Because otherwise, it would have really been pretty bad, for me anyway, speaking for myself. So
What did minister say? Settle on the good part?
The best part, yeah.
Exactly.
My question is this, because most of us, you, Brother Will and his family, Janine and her family from Reclaiming Identity, who else? We all left around the same time. It was like, I remember being nervous I'm thinking I'm going to tell you, and you're like, oh no, I'm out. And I'm like, what do you mean you was out? What do you mean you was out? She's showing, like, you were saying you were going to stay at one more year, but the next thing I know, you sending me pictures and stuff coming off the wall. I'm like, what the heck? Lamont, look at this. I hope we didn't inspire her to leave early. And then I know Will and Renata, they were like, they don't want to hear nothing else. We're out. We leaving first.
But the thing
but why did it happen all at the same time?
Right, it wasn't a plan. Like,
right,
nobody communicated with anybody about it. It just was like, oh, you too.
Yeah,
we're in the same energy field. We're in the same universal energy field. So in the earth, there are what they call ley lines. And those are energetic lines, and the energetic lines are tied to God. So you have your body. You have in your body is your spirit and your soul. Those that are the Bible readers, it's in the Bible as well. That you have the spirit and the soul are two separate things. The spirit is always connected to the God. Always. Never disconnected. You won't get a notice that says, if you don't pay this in 30 days, we're going to disconnect you from God. No. And then your soul is what enters the body. That is what is supposed to have that human experience and translate it. So you get the instructions through your spirit to the soul, but it's translated in your human experience. But you're always connected. So there's that universal energy. So we're in that same energy. Everyone has it. Everyone has their tribe, their squad, their family that they are moving through the earth with, because you have the same type of energetic frequency that allows you to create change. That's why there's power in numbers. And while the residential tourists are doing it here, I'm doing it my own way. Someone else is doing it their own way, but it's being in the body of Christ. It's being in the body of God. So we're all connected in that way. So we just are on that same ley line, that same universal line that says it's time to go. And it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was like the God was like, all right, all of y'all, get out. Let's go.
Exodus. Isn't that what X-Clan did? They did that song, Exodus.
Yeah.
So what's unique about you is you already had a plan B in the back of your mind, maybe? Like,
Mhm.
what inspired you? What made you start looking at South Africa?
Onesikaleli Africa. South African national anthem. So
Okay.
when I was
What happened? What's going
when I
on here?
was 15, I saw the movie Cry Freedom on Showtime
Right.
back in the day before it was Showmax and you had to have cable to look at TV. I saw Cry Freedom, and Cry Freedom is an adaptation from the book Biko.
Right.
And so I went to the library and checked out Biko. I was so moved by Stephen Biko's story that I went to the library, did a lot of research. It was Steve Biko that led me to Malcolm X, that led me to Minister Farrakhan. It all goes
Mhm.
back to Stephen Biko. And
Interesting.
so I had studied about, because this is back in 88. So apartheid was still going. And that brought out revolutionary Natasha, right? I was out there with them AFR, ICA, Angola, Soweto, right? Free South Africa with my Nelson Mandela medallions, you know. I was out
Yeah.
there like that. And so saying Amandla, oh, way through. So I always wanted to go to South Africa. But once you start having children, I had Amir when I was 22, so I was still in college. Once you start having children, things change because you need to make money. And so I thought it was out of my reach. And then came Rhonda in 2022, and I go to Rhonda. But that just made way for me to be on the continent. So, Will, go on the continent and be able to then make the easier transition to South Africa. So the girls knew. So I called them one day. I was in Rwanda at the time, and they were on campus. This was back in February of this year. And I said, we're going to go to South Africa. And they said, okay. And then about 2 days later, I sent them a link to a video. And they said, uh-oh, mommy's looking at videos. We're going to South Africa for real. And so then I got the call that I needed. I think I told you all about it. Some trouble that was happening at the campus, and you were about to get the brothers like on
Right.
point to go protect the
Right.
girls. And it was an opening for me to fly back to the US. And
Mhm.
then my dad got really sick. And so he thought he was going to pass away, and he called me because his heart is still only functioning at 15%, by the way, but he is fighting. But
Wow.
they were like any day. So I flew out and I stayed in New Jersey until Nori's graduation in May. And then we came back. So being in Jersey allowed me to decompress from everything that I was feeling in Rhonda, come back. Again, I was in isolation in Jersey because I was 2 hours away from the girls staying in Cape May. See, when you're supposed to go to a different station, the God opens up. So anyone who they have a feeling of fear and disbelief, just claim it. For real, just claim what is for you. Because when you're moving in that power and in that essence of God, that's why when you say be and it is, you are moving and speaking from the voice of God through you. So don't feel that you are disconnected from the God. You're ever connected to the Creator. Doesn't matter what name you say, God, Allah. You can say anything, Elohim, any word that you want to say to talk about the universal creation force of everything. When you work in that power, you can say be and it is. And so I was given a place to stay at an Airbnb. My friend is off season. So he said, you stay there for free, Natasha. You're actually going to be able to make sure everything's okay for free for 3 months.
Wow.
Because I needed that time again to come back to center. We're in Libra season. So it's the two scales and they go in balance so you can come in center, the zero, which is the God, the everything, the
Right.
cipher, the portal for God to speak through, for you to come through, for power to come through. So I had to get that equalization, find my equilibrium. So I was there. And then Nori graduated and we went back. So I was going to stay. And then I heard on the plane, get a 30-day visa. And I was like,
Mhm.
but I just want to go ahead and keep the house So I have my stuff will have somewhere to be because I got all this stuff. And so this is me talking to the God, and I got this stuff, and I spend a lot of money and I love my money.
Keep the house in Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. And it was like, no, get a 30-day visa and let that stuff go. I will replace it with even more. And I was like, but you see, I bought these things, right? And I designed this furniture. And I got the house painted. And I said, well, how the designs I see, I don't think you know what I'm saying. It was like, I said, get the 30-day visa and let it go. All right, I'm gonna get the 30-day visa because I'm on this plane and I don't need you to strike it while I'm on this plane. So yeah, I'm gonna get the 30-day visa and I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and go to sleep. And when we landed, I got the 30-day. We first landed in South because I had a dream. I think I told you all about it. That I went to South Africa first, and then I told the girls that we needed to go say goodbye to you all. In that dream, remember I told you about that dream and how everything was still in Ikawa and no one was moving.
Oh, right.
And so we ended up doing that exact same journey back. We went through Johannesburg to go to Rwanda. It was insane, but that's how life works. And so I went on, did the 30-day visa, and let everything go. I think within 2 days, I was like, all right, so we're going to go ahead and take the things off the wall and we're going to give everything away. And I gave almost everything away. Gave everything away except what could fit in the suitcases, which is how you leave is how you come out. And everything that could fit in my suitcases is what we left with. You see one mask behind me? That fit in the suitcase. And I was able to leave. And that's one thing what you have to do. And we went on to South Africa and enjoyed ourselves, and felt at home because there's a different type of spirituality there where I could talk about the ancestors and not have anyone be afraid of me because that happened in Rwanda. And so I could be me. I could be authentically Natasha. I don't have to wear a mask. And a lot of times that happens in Rwanda where people will repress their feelings because you need to show this very posh exterior and very serious. But when you hurting inside, so I provided a place in my home where people could be authentically who they are and not be admonished for it. I remember you all were talking to Will and saying about the people going to America and not saying why. Well, the reason why, because I asked while I was in Rwanda, the reason why is because if you come back and say how it really is, you're seen as the failure. So you cover it so that you're not seen as someone who failed and weren't good enough. And that's what happens a lot. It's like a covering, a mask, kind of like the mask that's on the wall people wear so that they can appear good enough for whatever it is. But you're good enough already. You were born good enough. You were born greater. And then the circumstances that's here. So once people can tap into that, so anyone that came in the house and I talked to, that's how I talk to them. Tap into the greatness of you, that God gifted through you. You're God's gift on this earth to be a reflection of God on the earth, to show people the power of the Creator here on earth as it is in heaven. Don't wait for heaven. It's right now. All right, let me stop preaching this Sunday, though. I need to get my Martin Luther King fan that I do have.
Yeah. That's good stuff. But I wanted to, you just listening, as always, listening, brings a lot of clarity. And something that you had said made me think about the fact that, we're moving from wherever, the United States, UK to Africa. It's, how can I say, it's man, I don't know how to say it. It's more like it's a journey of self-discovery.
Yep.
It's a journey of self-discovery, and it's not necessarily wherever you may land. This is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm getting and understanding, and bringing clarity to me, is that wherever you may land may not necessarily be the final destination.
No.
It's just the process to, and so the journey is not necessarily to the specific geographical location. The journey is to the self. We're trying to find the self, who we are, who, all of that stuff there. And this is what I'm hearing from you. And
Yeah, and I think even with that, what we don't understand is even though we felt a calling to come to Africa, where we landed might not have been the call. The calling was to come to the continent.
right?
So, that might mean we need to explore the continent. How can we help the continent? How can we benefit from it, and how can we enhance it? The different areas, the different countries that we go to. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we failed or we didn't,
I didn't
we
fail.
gave up too quick. No, I tell people all the time, go where you find your peace. And if you can't have peace where you are, there's 53, 54 other countries that you can go to.
And it's not giving up too quickly, because a lot of people be like, well, you didn't try. I tried, but I can't stay longer than what I'm supposed to stay. And so just because it's for you doesn't mean it's for me. It's for me to receive from and to give, right? And then I can move on to another station. And it's all right. If it's your calling, I give props to you. I give support to you. I support people even though I'm not there. I still give support. The Africa is huge. Africa is in my heart. And my heart is huge just like my body, right? So you don't have to you don't have to limit yourself to anything or any one place. We call Rhonda the boot camp, right? It's where you go to get your training. Boot camp is where you get training, and then you can move out anywhere else. Because I was able to not only survive, I was able to thrive because I thrived inside of myself, not externally, because I did thrive externally, but I survived internally, and that's more powerful than anything else external, because I created a beautiful external home. I provided opportunities for people to work. I provided other things that we don't even have to talk about, right? So those things happen, but more so internally. I found that voice again, and the ability to listen to that voice and speak it without fear. And that's one of those things that is a win. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for giving me a place where I could speak my voice without fear and allow others to speak theirs in my home without fear and love. And then it was time to move on because I needed to be in a place where I could feel accepted, and I could feel more of me. And that's what South Africa provides. And it's the place where I originally wanted to be.
So when you arrive there, did you feel at home? When they say you get off the plane, and you have that sense of
I cried.
Feeling. Oh,
I cried even when it was just a stop on the when it was changing planes to go to Rwanda that last time. I cried then. So when I came, I cried again when I knew all our bags were coming with us. And we stayed in Johannesburg for a week and did something in Joburg. And then we went on to Cape Town. And it just instantly felt like home. Like when you were talking about the instant feeling like home, it instantly felt like home. And one of the first things we did was download this app called Take a Lot and got Dr. Pepper. Okay, had it delivered. But we were missing Dr. Pepper. But remember, I was sending you pictures of big old thing of Dr. Pepper. But it instantly felt like home. It felt familiar, and not just familiar from it's more like the West, because it is. We're not going to front and fake or anything like that. I am that bougie friend that you talked about. I even have a shirt that says the bougie friend. I think I wore it on you put it on one of the pictures, but I wanted to have the creature comforts, but the spiritual connection. And there's a spiritual home that I felt with it. Table Mountain is a very spiritual location. It is. It's one of the places that emanates earth energy, heart energy, mother energy onto the world. The in Kemet, also known as Egypt, the Great Pyramids is a place for air energy, so knowledge. Hawaii is fire energy. And so, and it matches with the chakras. So Table Mountain matches with the heart. And that's what I felt there, my heart. And because of where I was, it's so close to it. So yes, talking to the people in South Africa is so beautiful. It was just
How did
like
they treat
talking.
you?
Hmm?
How did they treat you? Was it the same game? Like I'm gonna see what I can get from her,
No,
or okay.
there was that element, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I needed a reprieve from it. So things were set up in a way that I could get the reprieve of it. So yes, because I came still armed up, like I was the vanguard, Natasha, that was ready to fight, knucking and bucking and ready to fight. That's how I felt, right? And so I had to kind of come out of that thought. Like everybody isn't coming to ask for money. Now they do. Don't get it wrong, or they'll say, "Hey, I'm not asking for anything, sister. Just listen to me." And there were these guys in Soweto that were singing, like, "We don't need money." I said, "All right, then we're gonna listen to you sing." And I was recording them. And then they started asking for money. I was like, "Well, you said you didn't need it. So I'm about to get into the car." And you have that. But I'm like, I'm from Durham. You're dealing with a different type of person. And so but it was still home, because you'll get that anywhere in America too, right? So, and that's how it felt. But I was so happy. Like I can't, like, you see me cheesing right here, all my teeth. That's how I felt
That's
in
how I
Cape
feel about
Town.
Kenya, boy. I'm telling you, when you find it, that peace, that connection, when
Mhm.
you find that place where you think, okay, this is where I should have been. This is where I meant to be. But this is where we meant to be right now, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Everything happens at the right time. But when it happens, it's like, I mean, we've been through a lot here, but it's still, for me, I'm like, I still love it. I love it. I love it.
I
I
went through
just,
stuff. The people that took the money out my bank account,
oh yeah.
$1,300. I
And
still
that was
smile though. I got my money
so
back, but I still
good.
smile. And I'm a tourist. I want my money. Run me my money. I was a single mother. Run me my money, right? We will go for my money. But I could still smile because it's just beautiful. And it's beautiful in land, in the spirit. It's like the people have not forgotten who they are, right?
Mm,
When the Zulus, they have pride, in all, like the people still have pride in themselves, in their traditions, in their ancestors. And I have pride in my tradition and my ancestors, and it's just a kinship that I feel there. It is very much in all of the growing up and doing all the studies on South Africa and everything. And so it was like it all came together from 1988 to 2023. It just all collided. And
mm,
it's just, I cannot speak enough greatness about South Africa and the things that I've seen, and even some of the trials that I went through. But it's okay. Yeah, they have load shedding. So then you find somewhere without load shedding if you can afford it, or you pull up the app and you go, okay, I need to do this. All right, it's going to be out for 2 hours here. All right, let me just go ahead and do everything that I need to do. You're going to find it. How many times did my electricity go out in Rhonda where I'd be like, hey, y'all got lights over there? Well, we don't have lights over here. So, and
Yeah,
you like come to the cafe so you can work, because I work from
yeah,
home and I
yeah.
had to have two internet providers. So you'll find it everywhere, but it's about where does your spirit glow when you're there? And mine
mm.
glows in South Africa.
I can't wait to come visit.
That's beautiful, man.
I can't wait.
That's great.
And
That's
I know
great.
people are like, why is she in America? Because I brought my daughter. I have one more that's about to graduate.
She
And I
handling her
was,
business right now. That's all they gotta know. Yeah, she
and my
handling her
son had
business.
another baby.
Grandma,
So
grandma.
Congratulations.
grandma
Bobby.
just
Yeah,
last week had a baby girl, and so I'm
yeah,
here for that, because I want to soak up as much of that time as possible before I go back out. I have to go back. There's a power in purpose, and sometimes you have to like take care of home and mend all of that and nurture that, because when I go out I know that home is and my family, that's home, right? That's
Mm,
nurtured. So then when I go back out, then that's done and taken care of and beautiful and blossoming, and I don't have to feel that mom guilt. And then I'm back in South Africa. So yes, South Africa is home.
So do you feel any remnants of the apartheid there? That a lot of people say they can't go there because it's okay.
It's there. Remnants of the apartheid is there. There's still townships there. There's still the unequal distribution of wealth. You know, that's all over Africa. That's part of colonialism. That's in America as well, you know, and you do see it very much so. You also see where there's a rise in the Black middle class. You see where the most type of discrimination I received was not from because I was in the white part of Cape Town. There was no load shedding, so that was on purpose. And so it wasn't the white people, it was the other Black South Africans that were following me around the stores. But it wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, we're just doing it for her. It's done for a lot of people. Because I went and asked. I was like, y'all aren't good at your job. That's what we said. Because we can see you. You're not pretending, right? Because we Americans, we call certain things out. And but it's for everyone, because there was high things of theft, because poverty is real. And so, yes, you do see that happening. But I know how to deal with it because I lived in America most of my life. So I can be desensitized from it, and I don't allow that to stop me. Why would I allow somebody looking at me stop me? I'm a god.
Okay, so that was the only thing even for us, when we were talking about going to Africa, trying to figure out which country we wanted to go to, not South Africa. Out of just a lot of it for me was like, not after what they did type of thing. How was it?
You won't go anywhere in Africa.
Right.
You won't be in this world. You'll just not be in the world, and you're gonna go to Mars, and they did it there too. So you won't be anywhere in this world. But the thing is, it's who you are going into it. When they say ye are all God's children of the Most High God. So when you go in, knowing that everywhere you go, you place an imprint on that part of the earth. Right. And you can help to adjust the vibration of it when you go in that way. Because I know that I helped to change some lives in Rhonda, just like it changed me. And so when you go in that way, when some opposition comes to you, what does it say? To prepare the table in front of me in the presence of my enemies. So I know that there's a table. I come with the table and the food, right? Because I come with the power of the Creator wherever I go, just as they do too. So my ancestors, they out there chilling, playing, whatever games with some cowrie shells, playing spades, whatever it is. Our ancestors are commingling because we're supposed to be in that space in that same time, at that time. And so when I go in, I don't go in going apartheid. I go in saying, how did they come through it? Because they warriors just like me. Our people have that warrior spirit inside to still survive, because we are the children of the survivors. We are the descendants of the ones who decided that they would still create life in the middle of all of that pain and despair. We are the life germ. And so when you come into that, and they also come into that, there's a kinsmanship that happens. Because we can understand, there's a great understanding in that type of oppression. And it's a very specific type of oppression that we all made it through. And I am super proud of the people of South Africa, all of them, for coming through it. I'm go ahead.
Do you finish that thought?
It left. Go ahead.
Do you think that Black Americans connect with South Africans on that level? Like that would be an easy transition for us to come near, because we have that ability to connect on that level. The same oppression, a lot of the same similarities of what we go through, they've been through and they're going through as well. So it's an easy connection.
It's easy to connect in that way, but it's an easier transition because there are a lot of things that we're used to having in the US that's present in South Africa. And so it's a smoother transition than it is in other parts, because you're not having this feeling of, I wish I could have this thing. This thing could be available to you and not for 3 arms and 13 legs, right? And so you can have it. And the vibration of South Africa is very different, and I want to see all of Africa. I do, but I want South Africa to be the home base where my things can live while I go travel. What did Erykah Badu say? The world is mine. So when I wake up, I want to travel the entire world, the globe. And so what's wrong with roaming a little bit, but having a home base? But yes, South Africa it's just home. It's where my heart is. It really is. I woke up every day thankful.
Back on the continent.
I woke up every day thankful. Like I wake up every day here thankful, but I could not believe that God brought me there. It was just one of those things. One day I went walking and I think I posted it. It's like, I cannot believe this is my life. And it was just one of those moments where it's like all of that journey. If you told Joseph, right, that in order for him to set up a mini kingdom for his family, that he would have to go through a bunch of trials and tribulations, being sold off by his brothers, being accused of being sold into slavery, being accused of taking advantage of a woman, thrown into prison, telling people they think, and dude, when he get out of prison, he's supposed to look after Joseph, but he forgot. And then coming before the king and before the Pharaoh and having to do all that. If you told Joseph all of that it would take for him to be in a position of leadership, in a place of power, so that his family would be safe, before it even happened, Joseph would be like, nah, not me, bro. Because that's what happens to us. If we knew all of the different things, we know the end result. But if we knew the things in between, we'd be like, nah. On God, to God, on God, not me, right? And so, but
you've been too long.
Going through it allows you to appreciate. So I just sat there looking at Table Mountain and looking at the water and going, God, you brought me through to this moment right now. And I'm so thankful for everything that I thought was a mistake, but it wasn't. That Natasha that did whatever, she got me here. She limped her way here. So I'm going to hug her and thank her. And then I'm going to move forward a new Natasha. I just was so appreciative. Everything in Rhonda, everything. I am just so eternally thankful. All right, that's y'all Sunday sermon. Go ahead, pass the collection plate.
Collection plate. Pass it around.
Y'all see the Cash App button, the PayPal button, the Mapesa. Y'all asked us to put the Mapesa number up there. Y'all got that's the collection plate right there.
And it's important what you all are doing. So I know that you all can get some slack and some feedback, and people can say things, but it is truly important that you all continue to give space for the truth to be heard, for people's experiences to come through, and for knowledge to be shared. It is truly, truly important. You all are doing God's work. And even though through all the trials, the truth comes out. I don't care what anybody says against anything, the truth comes out. And the adversary is there to strengthen you, to sharpen you, to let you know the power that you wield. If Neo did not have Agent Smith as an adversary, he would not have known he was the one. Anybody that didn't look at the Matrix, I'm sorry. He would not have known he was the one until he had to stand and face Agent Smith. He had to. He could have been told he was told the whole movie, but it was at the moment where he had to not run anymore and stand and face that he began to realize he was the one. And then he was to break it all up. And then he was able to shift the space around him. He breathed deep and the whole space shifted around him. And that's what you all are doing. So everything that ever comes, it's allowing you to realize that you're the one so that you can shift time and space around you and exercise that power. And it's showing to you in different ways. And it's like, oh my God, why is all of this happening? It's happening to sharpen you so that you know that there's a power that's within you that's so great that forces will come against you to try to close up your mouth. Because once you close up your mouth, that means that's an avenue and people that God can't hear from. But the more that you keep going is the more that the God is heard, that the power is heard, that the ancestors are heard, that the angels are able to come through to shape and shift the energy of those who are touched by your words. So you keep doing what you do. Don't allow anyone to put fear in you, to stoke anger in you, to stop you, to create doubt in you, to create less than in you. You are great. What does it say? Greater than is he that is in me. It is greater that you, the God that is in you, shines through. Don't allow any of these situations to stop you. And that's for anybody that's watching, because it's going to show up, but it's going to show up to show you who you are and who you belong to. And the power that you can wield from your voice, from your hands, from your thoughts. And once your heart, which is the first organ that's created in the body, aligns with the mind, which is where God speaks through, the heart is where you receive the word. The mind is where you calculate it. And the mouth is where you speak it out. Once all that happens, nothing can stop it. So nothing can stop you. Ever. Ever. Your mother is working overtime. Because I knew Miss Louise. I know Ismaya. They in conjunction working overtime, making sure that everything is right. They're there, mother and daughter. That's an undeniable force. Working with the Father, that's the sun, moon, and stars working together, making it happen, making the universe available for you. So allow no one to dampen your spirit, to dampen your heart, to dampen your vision. It's bigger than this. It's bigger than 85 to Africa. It's the world. It's the entire world that you are opening up to everyone. To those who were lost from the continent, you're opening it up. You're letting people find themselves within themselves. That's a beautiful thing. Don't allow anyone to stop it. You understand? All right.
We hear loud and clear, sister. This is
General order number 1. Take charge of this post and all temple property in
view. For sure.
The world is your property. The temple property, that's in view.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff. I'm gonna tell you, sister. You know, I don't think it would be a disservice if we went any further. That's perfect right there.
That's it. We done, because my throat hold it out as long as it can.
Sister, I'm gonna tell you, you know, I'm so grateful and thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you all.
You know, I mean, words are not adequate enough to be able to express not just this moment, you know, but in this moment, that which you share, not just in words, but in your spirit, in the love that is clearly present with you and what you're sharing with us meaning all of who are watching and viewing. And we're grateful so much for you, sis. And we thank you for your journey. We thank you for your courage and your bravery and your not giving upness.
No.
And continue to move forward. And
we'll be back in February,
y'all. Yeah, we count the days.
Nuri starts school in Cape Town in January. She's going to do online. Sunny is going to start at the University of Cape Town to get her PhD.
Come on now. Come on, man.
In biology.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So we are cemented in Cape Town.
That's great. That's great. That is great.
Yeah, so
then we're going to come to Kenya. We're gonna come swim in the Indian Ocean.
Come on now.
There's no better experience than that warm Indian Ocean.
That warm seaweed ocean.
African Ocean.
The African Ocean. Yep.
Yeah. So people, again, thank you guys for the hug. I don't know why she want to go there.
Amandla, away too.
But we're very grateful. And you guys were kind this time. And again, this is the sister's journey. This is her walk. This is what she's been through. And always know that we only share surface level. It's deeper. It gets way deeper than what we talk about on here. But even on the surface level, it's still major. You know, that's somebody's journey that it just got to be time to change the story. You know, we got to change the chapter up. And it's not no slight to anybody's country. This just was her journey, and it's our journey. And so,
remember that vision of the ball of fire I saw? And I told you about the vision of the ball of fire and having to leave.
Oh, yeah.
You took a picture of the sun. And then right before I left, it was literally an explosion down the mountain 2 days before I left.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, I had a vision of this ball of fire. And then literally there was an explosion. So when God said, go.
Get out.
Go.
Wow.
Yes.
Well.
So thank you guys.
Thank you so very much. Listen, so please.
Her YouTube channel.
Yes, please share. We'll put it in the caption. However, please share with your actual YouTube channel.
Oh, it's Amori. I mean. So what I do is I'll do well, y'all know if y'all get scary, you're not gonna want to come on over there. But I do spiritual reading. So I'll talk about the energy of the week, what's happening this week. So like last week I talked about that it felt like it was a lot of conflict happening. That was the energy. And that someone
but last week was so much.
And that someone would come asking for money. Like I got a very specific message that someone saw someone as like the king and that they would ask for money and all of that. And then the very next day, somebody came to me asking me for money, but that they would come and that someone would be wavering. So those are the types of things that I do. And then I just talk about, and I use tarot cards, I use oracle cards, but I really get the message from God. And the cards are just used as for people who need those cards as confirmation, and that's what they need. If you just want to hear me talk, I do that too. So hugs to you too. So, and I only see the comments because it's what's put on the screen in front of me. But that is what I do. But you know, so Amori, Amori is my children's names combined, Amir and Nori, and Amin is the end of a prayer. You say Amin. And so Amori Amin is the channel. I do weekly, I do your monthly by signs, and I do about the moon. So we just had a full moon. So I'll do that as well. But during the week, I just give whatever message. If there's a lesson that's put on my heart to say, I'll say it. So and I just speak on it. And you know, we're just in this journey together for real. We are in this together.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. So y'all
hear me
please
singing too badly. Sometimes I get a song in my heart, I'll sing it. Sing
Goodness.
Where that gold mic at?
I was trying to find a video with the gold mic. I was like, we're gonna play this one.
The gold mic has been hidden. I brought it back from Rhonda. Haven't found it since. It's been hidden.
So I want to take this chance to thank everybody that sent donations last week. That was before we hung up. The Cash App was buzzing, the PayPal all through the night. So we definitely want to thank you guys for supporting our channel. As always, it's because of you that we're able to still do this. But again, if you need any information, if you're interested in the relocation services, if you're interested in just getting consultation services, please just hit us up to touristresidents@gmail.com, relocation services, adilahsrelocationservices@gmail.com. So again, thank you guys so much.
And don't forget, please hit the like button. If you like it, please do that. That really, it may seem insignificant, but it's very significant. It really helps out for us in the channel.
The share button.
The share button. Now, let me real quick. We always say please share because we want you to share it. I think though that today's message, I'll put it like that, really needs to be shared because even though we're speaking in terms of relocating uh, from wherever you are to Africa and our experience with that, I think it has a deeper significance that I believe will touch and be received by many individuals. So please share. Uh, please share.
We're gonna have you back on for some
Yeah.
scripture.
We'll have to. We'll have to for sure. For sure.
It's
So
fun.
next
It's
week,
fun.
we're planning something great next week, you guys. So
Or the week after. We're not sure which. We're not sure which week.
either way, we'll be back live, guys.
Yeah,
How y'all like that remix intro he does now?
No, that was just for the live.
Yeah,
He brought out the fight the power, the public enemy intro. I was like, what?
That was for you.
Not in the living bass
Not
heads.
a,
It's
here it is, bam, in your
our
face.
brother
Don't
Colin.
damn.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much, sister. We appreciate you. Blessings to you and the family. Please extend congrats to your son and daughter-in-law
Thank you.
for the newborn. We appreciate give love to our nieces. Please do that for us. We appreciate that.
I
And
have a word for somebody real quick though. I'm sorry, somebody
okay,
that's watching. There's somebody here. There's somebody here where they were told that they weren't that they're not going to be and that they could never do. And you're going to be revealed to you everything that is for you, everything that's of you. Quick story, my father was told, my biological father, he was killed in 1986 by a drunk driver. He was told he would never have children. And there may be somebody here that wants to be a parent and they don't feel that they could be, but he was told he couldn't have children. And so he went around thinking, he was told by doctors, military doctors. And then suddenly he has this big head girl. And so, and then this big head girl, and he had two sons. I have two brothers. This head girl has two children, and then my son has two more children. So everything that you've been told that you can't do, that you're not supposed to do, it's like somebody was told that they aren't even going to be able to make it. It's you want to change careers. It's something like that where you're striking out. It's going to be shown to you just a small glimpse of what you're going to have because you have that vision and that dream. And I want to confirm to you that it is true, that it is right, and you striking out on your own is walking in God's path, and that you're not just hearing voices in your head. It's for real for you, and it will multiply. So even if you're told and you keep moving in the way you're being told it can't happen, it is happening. And I'm speaking that over your life. It is happening. It is real. And you're going to multiply. Your blessings are going to multiply. And it's going to be something that's longevity, long lasting for your family. I'm hearing it's generational. So don't think and don't stop just because man can't see. You're working in the vision of the creator. And the vision of the creator has a long way, can see the entire sphere. So don't allow anyone with short-term vision to lead your life. I'm telling you, it's here for you. And you're going to see like a reel, like a movie reel of what can happen. It can be in your dreams or just something. It's going to spark for you to let you know that you are on the right path. Whatever it is someone spoke over to you, I'm breaking it right now. Right now, it is broken. That thing, that negative thing that they put over your life, I'm breaking it right now. Because you are being blessed, and you are being guided, and you're a truth sayer, and you are going to strike out on your own, and it may be again different than the other path, but that's okay because it's your path. And your path is going to be the one, like the Pied Piper, you're going to lead others with you, but you got to do it on your own first. Mama can't go with you, daddy can't go with you, brother and sister can't go with you. It's for you. It's for you. It's broken.
Wow.
It's for you.
Whoever that was for.
Man, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sis.
We appreciate you. Thank
I'm
you
out.
all for your joining in and your viewership. And until next week, God willing, y'all have a blessed week, and we'll see you then.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.